Hello guys, Touch the Lake. Today I'm going to talk about a very important topic, that is why the Indian government should recognize Tibet as an independent sovereign state. If I trace and look back to the Tibetan history, ever since the Chinese occupation, we Tibetans came into exile in the great land of India. And she has been so generous and kind enough to shelter and benefit for the Tibetan cause over the last 60 plus years. We are so grateful and indebted to the great motherland of India. Because of the Indian government's continuous generous support, we the Tibetans are able to preserve our Tibetan culture, traditional language, customs, habits and so forth. If I look across the globe, I can't compare and see any other nation like India, who has been extremely supportive for the Tibetan cause. This is my sincere and humble request to the Indian government dignitaries, ambassadors, especially to the President Ramnath Kovindji and Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, to recognize Tibet as an independent sovereign state. And I think the Indian people and the people of India and the government of India should support for the Tibetan cause, and she has been supporting for the last 60 plus years, and we are indeed really thankful to them for their consistency and determination to fight for the cause of justice. Tibet is and will always be an independent sovereign state. We Tibetans have everything that a nation state should require. We have our own distinct Tibetan culture, religion, language, customs, habits, and Tibetan history and script and many more to prove that Tibet as an independent sovereign state. Now, I would like to simply urge and request from my depth of my heart to all the dignitaries and ambassadors once again to recognize Tibet as a sovereign independent state. At last, I would like to say, one world, one dream, free Tibet. Jai Bharat, Jai Tibet. Thank you.
Samanatash Delay, a Tibetan greeting to everyone. Today I would like to talk about why Indian government should consider Tibet as an independent sovereign country. Tibet from the very beginning had always been an independent country with its own Tibetan traditions, culture, language and the unique Tibetan flag and anthem, which all Tibetan people had over a period of time had been practicing. So Tibet from the very beginning had always been an independent country. But however, in 1959, Chinese government had illegally occupied our land, and how violently they had led to the destruction of so many of monasteries, which had led to the disappearance of so many of monks, including our Panchen Lama, whose whereabouts is still in doubt. And it had always been a critical question that had been arising in Tibet every day, and we still have no idea whether Panchen Lama is alive or dead. So that is like very critical condition and very critical question. But however, all of this had been a consequence of the illegal occupation of the Chinese after 1959. But Tibet from the very beginning had always been an independent country. It is and it will be always independent country. And lastly, I would like to pray for all the people that had been suffering around the world of the pandemic, and how it had been a very critical situation for us around because of the environmental destruction that has been happening around the world also. So I would like to request everyone to please stay safe and stay healthy, and please take care of yourself. And Tibet, at the conclusion, I would like to say, is independent country. Thank you.
Why India should recognize Tibet as a sovereign country? We need to understand that China ने तिब्बत के पूरे कल्चर को, तिब्बत के पूरे सिस्टम को, तिब्बत के पूरे जो कल्चर है उसको डिस्ट्रॉय किया. न केवल तिब्बत का कल्चर, बल्कि चाइना ने जिस कंट्री को ऑक्यूपाई किया, सिस्टमैटिकली वहां पर मास मर्डर किया है, जेनोसाइड किया है. एंड दिस इज हाउ माओइज्म फंक्शंस ऑल अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड. दिस इज नथिंग न्यू. वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड वी नीड टू रीड हिस्ट्री अ बिट. तिब्बत इज अवर नेबर, नॉट चाइना. चाइना हमारा नेबर नहीं है, तिब्बत हमारा नेबर है. एंड वी हैव अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल रिलेशन विद द पीपल ऑफ तिब्बत. इट्स अवर ड्यूटी टू रेज अवर वॉइस. अगर हम पॉलिटिकल एस्पेक्ट की बात करें, तो अगर तिब्बत के लिए इफ वी विल रेज आवर वॉइस फॉर द फ्रीडम ऑफ तिब्बत, इफ वी विल कंट्रीब्यूट इन द टिबेटन वॉर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस अगेंस्ट चाइना, इसका सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट ये होगा कि चाइना आंसरेबल होगा. चाइना को आंसर करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज इंडिया इज अ ग्लोबल पावर. इंडिया इज इमर्जिंग एज अ बिग सुपर पावर अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड, एंड द होल वर्ल्ड इज विद इंडिया, नॉट विद चाइना. चाइना हैव टू गिव आंसर. चाइना को आंसर करना पड़ेगा कि भाई तिब्बत पर उसका स्टैंड क्या है. If we will talk about Tibetan freedom, we are talking about the democratic right of Tibetan people, जिसको इतने लंबे टाइम तक चाइना ने सप्रेस किया. China have systematically destroyed monasteries. China have systematically persecuted the Tibetan people there. If India will speak for द इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ टिबेटन, इसका मतलब यह है कि चाइना पर एक प्रेशर बनेगा इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर। और इट्स अबाउट आवर नेबर, इट्स अबाउट आवर हिस्टोरिकल टाइज विथ टिबेट। चाइना ने जब इंडिया से स्ट्रगल करने का कोशिश किया इन कुछ दिनों में, चाइना फेस्ड मल्टीपल प्रॉब्लम, चाइना को कई प्रॉब्लम फेस करना पड़ा बिकॉज अवर आर्मी इज हैव परफॉर्म्ड रियली ग्रेट ऑन बॉर्डर्स। बट एज अ कॉमन इंडियन वी नीड टू राइट फॉर टिबेट अगेंस्ट चाइना। और हमने ऑफिशियली अगर तिब्बत को एक सोवरेन कंट्री का स्टेटस दे दिया कि नो, तिब्बत इज द सोवरेन कंट्री एंड चाइना हैव इलीगली ऑक्यूपाइड, इट विल क्रिएट अ ग्रेट इम्पैक्ट। और वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स में ये एक पाथ चेंजिंग इवेंट बन जाएगा जो सारे इंडिया के फ्रेंडली कंट्रीज, वेदर इट इज इजराइल, वेदर इट इज यूरोपियन कंट्रीज, सब इंडिया के साथ खड़े होंगे। और तिब्बत के लोगों को अगर उनका कंट्री मिलता है 21st सेंचुरी में, चाइना हैव इलीगली ऑक्यूपाइड तिब्बत, इंडियन गवर्नमेंट की कोशिश से, इंडियन गवर्नमेंट के रिकॉग्निशन से, it will be the greatest event of 21st century that Tibetan people will get their land free, and this is all we want. We don't want कि कोई भी कंट्री, जैसे कि एक टाइम पे इंडिया भी जो था वो अंग्रेजों की कॉलोनी थी, हमें इस बात को अंडरस्टैंड करना पड़ेगा कि अगर तिब्बत को हमने फ्री करवाने में अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन किया और इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने रिकॉग्नाइज कर दिया कि नो, तिब्बत इज अ फ्री कंट्री, इट विल एक्चुअली चेंज द एंटायर साइकोलॉजी ऑफ वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स, और पूरा वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स का डायरेक्शन बदल जाएगा। और तिब्बत की फ्रीडम से इंडिया को एक बहुत बड़ी सिक्योरिटी भी मिलेगी, बिकॉज तिब्बट्स फ्रीडम इज इंडिया सिक्योरिटी। थैंक यू सो मच। टचजिल।
Hello everyone, this is Yaksha and today I am going to talk about Tibet. You know, if we see the map of world, especially from the perspective of India, the longest border India share with any neighboring country is that Tibet. Now, Tibet has been illegally occupied by the Chinese government and it is important for us to now recognize Tibet as a sovereign state. There is a very special relationship between Tibet and India, and this relationship is as old as Himalayas. The freedom of Tibet is not just important for the Tibetan, but it is also important for the security of India. There is a relationship between Tibet and India, and this relationship is very important. The cultural and religious relationship, the use of natural resources, and most importantly the security purpose. Talking about the first one, culture and religious one, hundreds of years ago an event acquired in India that changed the face of Asia and the perspective of world, that is Buddha. The Buddha and his teaching is one of the core of this relationship, and the medical system of Tibetan, the script of Tibetan are the good example of this relationship. The natural resources are the major reason for the illegal occupation of Tibet, and the consequences that we are facing is unseasonal flood in the Bihar and Arunachal Pradesh and many other states of India because of the illegal mining of Chinese army in Indian to get those natural resources and to be the superpower in the world. And lastly, the most important, the security purpose. You know, India and Tibet shares the longest border. Tibet is the gate for the world to enter in India, and this gate is now in control of Chinese army. And we are facing the circumstances, they are continuously attacking the Indian army and occupying our land also. China has already occupied many land from the many other countries, and now they are trying to occupy this from the India. And before illegal occupation of Tibet, Chinese army was very far from India and they can't attack us directly. But after illegally occupying the Tibet, they are attacking India, and now because they got that land, they got that support. And for us, this is very important to recognize Tibet as a free state, not as illegally occupied by Chinese government.
Hello, today I'm going to discuss on the topic why India must recognize Tibet as an independent sovereign state. As a first step towards making China pay for her heavy misdeeds is by recognizing Tibet as an independent sovereign state. China is the only country that has been expanding its territory in the 21st century. Its armed forces are known as the People's Liberation Army, and who are further claiming and occupying territories belonging to neighbors since the past 8 decades. Their actions are neither for the people nor for liberation. The PLA's recent aggressive occupation of Indian territories, beyond even their claim line, are examples enough to understand the Chinese Communist Party's expansionist era has just begun. Recent Chinese occupations of Indian areas in eastern Ladakh at most places beyond their claim line suggest that they are in for a fight, and even the talks between the authorities is uneventful. India must seize this chance to bail Tibet out of China's clutches. Tibet has a written history of over 2150 years when China has never ruled over them. India has provided shelter to His Holiness Dalai Lama and the Tibetan community to ensure their freedom at the earliest. India must recognize Tibet, including the Tibet Autonomous Prefectures, as a sovereign and independent state that is now occupied by China. India must ask the international community to follow suit in this regard to ensure Tibet is liberated at the earliest. This is the opportunity that India cannot afford to lose. Thank you.